Well, folks, in today's video, we're going to be restoring this Canadian National Shark Nose from Model Power. I picked this thing up for 10 bucks at the OVA or train show, and I was really confident this was going to be a runner because at least the exterior condition, the cosmetic condition, it's excellent. So anyway, I put it on the track and it didn't seem to be getting power. I tried connecting up the motor, and the whole thing appeared to be seized. So in today's video, we're going to try to figure out what's going on with this thing and see if we can get her to run. So just in case any of you guys haven't seen the video where I test this thing, now if we give it some power, last time the front light was coming on, which it's now not, and it's also giving us a short. So I don't know what's going on this thing. I do have one suspicion, which is that these wheel sets are directional, and if somebody ever took this thing apart and they put them in backwards, it might be shorting out the loco, and that's something I've done personally, so I suspect that could be a problem, but I guess there's only one way to find out. So to begin, we're just going to start by taking the shell off this thing. We've got 2 tabs on each side, giving us a total of 4 tabs. We just need to remove the shell from that. I guess we'll start by just lifting them on each side. And just like so, the whole shell pops off. There's our shell. Let's put that there. Now we've got this weight. I'm going to remove this just for the sake of actually testing this thing out. And we'll start. That could actually be the source of our short right there. These clips don't always hold the motor in perfectly. That's okay. I actually want to take this motor out and figure out. It doesn't feel like it's seized, but I just want to make sure there's nothing like shorted in it. And then we can actually test to see if each of these trucks have a problem, because when I tested it, the motor was seized. Alright, time to find out if that jolly motor works. That's funny. Oh, yep. Okay, so the motor is good. So, it's not the motor that's the problem, but it was clearly stalled out for some reason. So, option 2 is... Okay, I can already tell. Something wrong with the trucks. You know what, guys? I don't know if this engine's been run, but if somebody bought this engine 30 or 40 years ago, and it left the factory with lubricants put in it, my guess is those lubricants are now long dried, and they are preventing these from turning. Because turning these with my fingers, they're not turning particularly easy. These things should go very easily. So I think our problem is somewhere in these trucks. So we're going to have to disassemble those and see if we can find it. So to begin, we're going to just start by removing the trucks with these screws, which are in each side. Once you remove these, the whole truck should come apart. And then we'll hopefully be able to access everything and figure out what's going on with each of these trucks. There we go, here are the wheels. There certainly is some grease in there. Yeah, contacts barely have any wear on them, so I still don't think this locomotive has really had any miles put on it, you could say. Alright, let's see. Yep, same situation. Bit of oil. Yeah, it's quite sticky though. Alright. Now, Model Power engines have an interesting design for actually removing the trucks. You just kind of pull them forward, and there's usually something. There we go. Holding them like so. And on the front one, you have to remove the little coupling box there. That's what holds it on. So once you remove that, you can get them out, and then we can actually disassemble them and figure out what is going on inside. This could be basically a brand new engine that's never run, and it has problems just because it hasn't run. Yeah, there we go, both trucks. Now, these trucks have a little electrical pickup that connects to a wire. You just unclip each of the tops of these tabs, and then this whole piece slides out and we gain access to the inside of the truck. We'll do that on both sides just so we can deal with whatever's going on at the same time. Okay, so there's some grease on there. Yeah. Grease should not be solid like that. So right in there is the grease. As you can see, it's really clean, which means it probably hasn't done any miles, but look at it. It's like it's solidified. I can't even really turn this. So we need to get those gears out and clean them ASAP because this is really bad. Alright, we're going to try to very gently leverage a thing under there, little flat heads. There's one gear. Oh yeah. Okay guys, the grease is cracking. That's how dried out it is. So I guess my prediction on that was about what was going on here. Just want you guys to get an idea of exactly what we're working with here. Grease is not supposed to come off in solid chunks. That is really bad. I'll see if we can get... Like, this stuff is beyond bad. Wow. Alright, so I just took the gears out of the other truck, and I thought that one was pretty bad, but I got over to this one, and... Like, I really can't believe this, guys. They put so much grease. It's no wonder this thing didn't run. It's so bad. You can see there's a little bit, but it seems to have all kind of, I don't know, pooled towards the bottom. But I guess provided we remove all this, put fresh oil in it, this thing should run pretty well. Alright, so I just finished cleaning one of the gearboxes, and as you can see, it made just a slight difference. Anyway, we're going to start putting some of these gears back into place. We're going to be using very light Labelle oil. I don't think this thing really needs grease, honestly. It should do fine with just a bit of oil. We'll just pop that gear back into place. And this one... I got that backwards there. Alright. And finally, that one. And to lubricate the worm gear here, we'll just put a bit of oil on each of these bearings here. And we'll pop that right down back into the frame. Just like so. Now this is where things get a bit more interesting. You take your clip from earlier and the other side there, and optimally you just want to kind of get this piece around, let those two clips kind of fall into place there. And just like that, your gearbox is reconstructed. And you slide it back into place and put the little coupler holder back on. And at this point, once we got our trucks in there, I can probably put the little drive pieces in. In this case, the motor is still loose, so we can just take that out to get that piece in there. And on the other side, all that holds it on is the truck cover, which has a screw which goes through the frame, so you don't have to worry about anything. But of course, on the front, we've got that coupler thing which prevents the truck from coming out there. So anyway, that should be good. Now we have to put the wheels in. This is somewhere where you have to be sort of careful. First of all, you want to oil each of your bearings there, and as always, just put a slick of oil. The thing that really matters though is that the wheels have to be put in one way and one way only, which is, if you look right there, you can see how it's dark. That's because it's plastic, it's insulated. On the other side, it's metal. The plastic side needs to go on the same side as the plastic because it is not conductive. It doesn't bring power to the chassis. The other side does. So you need to make sure that you get those the right way. So you've got both the insulated sides facing the plastic, because if they're the other way, even if you get one of these wheel sets wrong, it's going to short your whole locomotive and it won't work. Another thing is, too, you need to put the one with the coupler on the back, obviously, because the one on the front already has a coupler, which is mounted. Now that we've got both the trucks on and the wheels put in properly, we can put this little clip which holds on the motor back in, and as well as this weight. Now, let's pop that in there. Oh, one more thing. Make sure that little wire that comes out of the motor, the one that touches the chassis, is sandwiched between the chassis and the motor. Otherwise your engine won't work. Very common problem I see on these old model power engines. And I should be able, in theory, just to push the top part down. Didn't click. There we go. Engine finito. Let's take it over the track and test it. Alright, well, we've got her all set up on the track. Now let's find out if all of our effort has paid off. Hey! We've got a runner. Oh yeah. These old model powers, they're not the fastest, but they do last. It's not too bad, too. Fairly efficient. I assume we've got reverse as well, yeah. Well, fair enough. I'm quite happy with that. Well, folks, I have to say I'm pretty impressed right now. We got this thing working. This was kind of an interesting restoration because most of the engines I fix up are, you know, engines that are considered like high milers. You know, they've been out on the track for a while and they're kind of worn out. But this is one of the rare cases where the engine was broken or not working because it sat for probably 30-some years, not moving at all. And, you know, the funny thing is about these things is you'd think, you know, just sitting, not doing anything would mean that it would stay preserved, but it doesn't. Components inside these things change, you know, the magnets get weaker, lubricants harden and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just sort of interesting that this thing needed a restoration even though it possibly has never been run before. But it is all fixed up now and ready to go. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching.